The night opened like a velvet curtain, and the sky stepped forward, quiet, star-silvered, endlessly kind. Between the bright lanterns of the constellations and the dark rivers of space, something small and patient floated. It was not a star, not a planet, not a comet with a tail of fire. It was Lumen, a thread of wandering light, gentle as a sigh. Lumen drifted where gravity was soft and time was slower than sleep. Sometimes she coiled herself around the stem of a star and listened to the soft humming beneath its surface. Sometimes she slipped along the dark like a skipping stone and let whole galaxies pass through her like wind through grass. Mostly, she watched, and while she watched, she learned to love the quiet between distant heartbeats of light. Tonight, the sky was incredibly still, the kind of still that makes you hear your own breathing, in and out, soft and slow, like tide, like wind, like the universe making room for dreams. High above the moon's pale edge, Lumen drifted past a scatter of stars shaped like a sleeping fawn. Their light spilled down in tender arcs, fell across mountains and rooftops, and into rooms where eyes were trying to close. Lumen listened to those rooms. She could, from up here. There were whispers, and pages turning, and the small, brave silence before sleep. "Teach me to be useful," Lumen said softly to the stars. "I am only a thread of light, but I want to be someone's rest." The stars flickered like smiles. The silence kept breathing. And somewhere far ahead, something answered. It was not a voice exactly, more like a shimmer that made the darkness ripple. Lumen moved toward it, curious and unafraid. The ripple widened, like ink dropped in water, and from it came a figure woven entirely of star motes and night. She was tall and soft and kind, and when she moved, constellations rearranged like beads on a string. "I am Astris," the figure said, her voice a hush of snowfall in a library of sky. "I thread the constellations at bedtime." Lumen brightened with joy. "You arrange the stars?" "I help them hold hands," Astris said, "so the world below has stories to sleep beneath. Will you come?" They drifted together. It felt like walking on dust that remembered music. As they went, Astris unfurled a long silver strand. Constellations noticed, blinked their small, gentle eyes, and leaned toward it the way flowers lean toward rain. Lumen realized the strand was not a single thread. It was many, braided, memory, hope, old lullabies, new beginnings. "Where do we start?" Lumen asked, shy but glowing. Astris pointed to a scatter of lonely lights, with the ones that have forgotten how to breathe. Lumen stilled. Stars breathe. Astris smiled. Everything that shines does. Watch. They arrived at a small cluster, barely visible, like dust left on a piano lid. Astris cupped them with both hands and whispered, "In and out." Her breath was slow and deep. The stars answered, tentatively at first, then with growing ease. Their light brightened. Their edges softened. Their silence turned warm. "How did they forget?" Lumen asked. "Noise," Astris said. "Worlds below can be loud. Thoughts, worries, too many clocks. The constellations listen, and sometimes they hold their breath." Lumen understood. She'd felt the same whenever she passed over cities where windows stayed bright too late. "I can help," she said, and she meant it with all her quiet heart. Astris nodded and showed Lumen the rhythm. 4 counts in. A soft pause where the light gathers. 6 counts out. Another pause where the dark becomes a cradle instead of a cave. Lumen followed. She spread herself into a slow spiral. Inhaled star calm. Exhaled silver rest. The cluster steadied. Their flicker smoothed. Far below, in a child's room where a nightlight glowed, someone's shoulders dropped. A breath matched the rhythm without knowing why. "Good," Astris whispered. "Now, let's walk the sky." They drifted to a larger figure. 4 stars making a bowl, 3 making a handle. "The cup of quiet," Astris said. "It catches what spills from tired minds." Lumen peered inside. The cup looked empty, but when she listened, she heard tiny thoughts settling. "I forgot to feed the cat. Did I say the right thing? What if tomorrow is hard?" "They dissolve here," Astris explained. "We keep them safe until morning, so no one has to hold them while they sleep." Lumen touched the rim. The cup sang back, a note so low it tickled the bones of the night. She hummed with it, and the cup's song drifted down into rooms like warmth. In a kitchen where a mug waited clean and a note on the fridge said, "You did enough today," a parent's eyes finally closed. On a ship sliding through black water, a navigator loosened his jaw and let the sea steer. On a rooftop, 2 teens stopped counting satellites and just held hands with the dark. Lumen glowed